Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we are going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30-20 win versus the New Orleans Saints in the divisional round. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have beaten the Saints. They are eliminated from playoff contention. The Buccaneers move on to the NFC Championship game. This is the biggest win in Bucs history since their Super Bowl win. Hands down, the biggest win since that game. I mean, we all know how much the Bucs struggle versus the Saints, and the talk from the Saints players, from Saints fans, and everything else in between. And it feels good. I'd be lying if I said it didn't feel good, right? This feels good. The Bucs finally got that monkey off their back. They beat the Saints, and they're moving on to the NFC Championship game versus the Green Bay Packers. Phenomenal. Now, there is a lot to cover here, both good and a little bit of bad, and that's what we're going to be talking about first. First thing is the bad. Drops, right? There were some drops in this game. Chris Godwin had a couple. Rob Gronkowski had one, and I believe Leonard Fournette had one as well. Now, there are still some positives from a couple of those players, but overall, the drops need to improve, especially in games like the NFC Championship game. You can't be making mistakes like that. Also, the jaw-jacking was a little annoying at times with Fournette, Jensen, Marpet, and Evans. Just continue to do what those Saints players do. It's one of the best things that they are, good at, is being annoying, right? And jaw-jacking and just, doing what they do. Thankfully, the Buccaneers overcame that. They did not let the Saints players get into their heads too far, and they pulled out a win, which was phenomenal. Punt coverage definitely struggled in this game. The first couple of punts after the first punt returner for the Saints was taken out of the game, the second returner didn't have as much luck. That has to be better. I think that will be improved going into the NFC Championship game. Third down offense was a little suspect in the first half and a little bit into the second half as well. What I mean specifically is on short third downs, Byron Leftwich thought it was okay to throw a deep ball in one situation. I don't agree with that at all, especially with how good the running backs were doing in this game, and we will get to that in terms of how good they were doing. I feel like there should have been more runs on those short third down conversions, but it is what it is. Trick play defense was a little rough, but I will go a little bit deeper into that later. And then finally, penalties, third down flags, extending drives for the Saints, and killing drives for the Buccaneers. Again, those are things that cannot happen. For the Buccaneers to try and make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, you can't have drive-killing penalties like that. You can't have drive-extending penalties like that. Mental mistakes, things along those lines. Bucs have got to do better. But that's it for all the bad. Now we can get in to all of the good. And man, there's a lot of good from this game. Tom Brady, 18-33, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, only sacked 1 time. Shout out to the offensive line. They did phenomenal. They got revenge against this Saints pass rush in the best way possible. Tom Brady did what he needed to do to win this game, and man, he made some clutch throws. This was playoff Tom Brady. Not at his peak, because the yardage was not there, absolutely, but this was an incredibly tough Saints defense, and Tom Brady was clutch. You cannot tell me otherwise. He played phenomenal. Shout out to the GOAT. He did great being clutch in this game. Playoff Tom Brady. It's a real thing here in Tampa Bay. The run game. Leonard Fournette, 17 carries, 63 yards. Ronald Jones, 13 carries, 62 yards. Tom Brady, 2 yards, but he had a quarterback sneak touchdown. All that for 127 yards and 1 touchdown on the ground for the Buccaneers as a whole running on this day. Great game by the running backs. I thought that Jones and Fournette played great. Myself, personally, I would have given Ronald Jones the ball a little bit more. I thought he was doing better as a runner, but I still feel like Fournette did a very serviceable job. He looked like a starting running back out there in a couple of different ways, and minus maybe 1 drop like I talked about earlier, Fournette still did some pretty good things, and I was very happy to have him out there. If Ronald Jones can be fully healthy, because he was a game-time decision before this game, if he can be fully healthy and be ready to go, I think that him and Fournette could be a large part in this upcoming NFC Championship game versus the Packers. Receiving the ball, Cam Brate, 4 catches, 50 yards. He's coming on strong in the playoffs, which I absolutely love that. Leonard Fournette, like I mentioned, 6 targets. He had that 1 drop, but 5 catches, 44 yards and a touchdown. He had a really, really solid game. He had 100 scrimmage yards and a touchdown. You really don't expect much more from your running back. He did what he needed to do, and I'm very proud of Leonard Fournette. He showed up in this game. Chris Godwin, 4 catches, 34 yards, and then after that, there wasn't a ton in terms of stat lines, but Scotty Miller had a phenomenal double move to get a very clutch 29-yard reception to get the Buccaneers a very crucial first down. Tyler Johnson had a very crucial 15-yard grab for another Buccaneers first down later on in the game. Those were crucial plays, and I thought that they did phenomenal in their very limited targets that they got. I mean, even the 4th and 5th wide receivers on this team made clutch plays when they needed to. This was a team effort. Antonio Brown did tweak his knee a little bit, and we didn't see him, I believe, at all in the second half, which is unfortunate because he only had 1 catch for 10 yards. Mike Evans, 1 catch, 3 yards, but did have that touchdown against Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore just plays really good against Mike Evans. It is what it is. But now we're going to get on to the juicy part, right? The defense. This defense played great. And there are so many people that I could shout out, but I'm going to try and condense it down. Devin White, player of the game, hands down. It's not even debatable. Devin White, 11 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 pass deflection rather, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 interception. That interception basically sealing the game as a whole. Devin White played phenomenal, and you could tell he wanted this so freaking bad after missing the wild card round. Coming into this divisional game, it's his first playoff game ever, and he showed up. Devin White's the player of the game, in my opinion. He did phenomenal in his first playoff effort. Good job to the second-year Bucs linebacker. Devin White was as solid of a pro as you should expect him to be, 7 total tackles. Antoine Winfield Jr. had 6 tackles. He had a forced fumble on Saints tight end Jared Cook. And then in terms of the secondary, Sean Murphy-Bunting, 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 2 pass deflections, 1 interception. As I said, Devin White had that interception earlier. Mike Edwards had an interception as well to go along with 1 pass deflection and 1 total tackle. Jamel Dean, I thought, played a pretty decent job. Carlton Davis, I thought, played a phenomenal job containing Saints star wide receiver Michael Thomas. Aside from a few plays here and there, like that trick play with the double end around to the Jameis Winston touchdown, to Traquan Smith and things like that, this defense played lights out. I mean, absolutely lights out. And this is a very good Saints offense. The Saints finished this game 25 carries, 104 yards, but no touchdowns in their rushing game. They didn't have a 100-yard rusher in this game. Drew Brees, 19 of 34, 134 yards passing, 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions. I mean, Drew Brees did not have a good stat line under any circumstances. He had a very, very, very poor stat line. This defense showed up to play, and shout out to Todd Bowles for game planning around this, right? I mean, Todd Bowles did what he needed to do. Tom Brady and the offense took advantage of all the opportunities that their defense was giving them. I mean, this was not a perfect game under any circumstances, but the Buccaneers did absolutely what they needed to do to win this football game. And I'm so freaking proud of this team for them to finally get that monkey off their back of not being able to beat the New Orleans Saints the past couple of years. Not only did they finally beat the Saints, they beat them in the playoffs, eliminated the Saints from playoff contention, and according to Jay Glazer, retired Drew Brees. Huge, 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 huge. What's going to happen with the Saints? I have no idea. They have negative $99 million in cap space, and they're in a really rough situation right now. This might have been their last gasp, so to speak, in terms of playoff contentions and stuff like that, at least for a little bit until they can figure out their salary cap situation. But playoff Tom Brady's real here in Tampa, folks. I mean, my goodness. All these players, from the defense to the offense, even to special teams. I want to say shout out to Ryan Suckup. He was 3 for 3 for field goals tonight, 3 for 3 for extra points. Bradley Pinion, 4 punts, 2 of them inside the 20. Everybody showed up to play. Even Jadon Mickens had a pretty nice punt return to help give the Buccaneers better field position on a punt. Everybody in this game showed up to play, and I'm so proud of them. And now the Buccaneers move on to Lambeau. They're going to play the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. I'm insanely excited for that game, guys. This season is already a success in my opinion. I thought that if we could get past the wild card round, this season would be a success. Then I found out we're playing the New Orleans Saints, and I thought this game's basically like a Super Bowl to me. Because if we can beat the Saints, I'm gonna have so much joy in my life. And they beat the Saints. This season is a success. Now we can see if the Buccaneers can go into Lambeau, defeat the Packers, go to the Super Bowl, have a hometown Super Bowl, and just finish off this season in the best way possible, guys. I'm so excited to see how the Buccaneers finish out this season. I hope you guys are as well. The Buccaneers beat the Saints, and man, it feels oh so good. It really does. Shout out to the Saints. You know, give credit where credit is due. Drew Brees has had a phenomenal career. If this is the end, Alvin Kamara is a great player. Michael Thomas, they did have to, scheme around him a lot. Saints are a good team. The Buccaneers beat a really freaking good team today, and they played some phenomenal football. So with that being said, guys, that is going to be it for this overall game review. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments section below. What do you think about all the things that I mentioned, and how do you feel about this Buccaneers win? Give me your thoughts. But anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. The Bucs beat the Saints, and go Bucs. See you guys soon.